Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Madmen with the Box live. We've done this 138 times now. I'm Pixel. He's Chris. And
you say this every week.
I know.
We've done it. We've done this number of times. You remind me of couples that like to celebrate anniversaries, but not like yearly, like what an anniversary would be. Like, we've been dating for 2 weeks. It's our 2-week anniversary. Oh my god, we've been married for 1 day. It's our 1-day anniversary.
You know,
knowing couples that done that, and I don't know, maybe it's because I've been single a lot, and maybe I'm just jaded, but it fucking irks me when they do that. It's like, that's not an anniversary. That's a yearly thing. Anniversaries are yearly. That's the big importance because it's such a long time. Not like, I met you yesterday and now we're dating. It's our 1-day anniversary. It's like, bro,
Chris, every one of these shows with you is important to me. So I don't know about you. I'm sorry. That,
if it was that important, where's the cake? Where's my paycheck?
You get paid as much as I do here.
Fucking nothing. Much like when YouTube copy strikes any of our videos, they get fucking nothing. Much like us.
Hello to Landry Q Walker.
Hello.
I'm sorry you had to see Mummy and Daddy fight.
I missed it. I missed it. I don't know about other people. What was the fight about?
Oh no. we were talking because I introduced the show. It's 138 times of doing this. It's fun to go ahead and see.
And then I said, Pixel does this every day, and it reminds me of couples that misuse anniversaries. Instead of it being a yearly thing, they'd be like, we've been dating for 2 months. It's our 2-month anniversary. And it's like, no.
Days.
And then I let Chris know that every one of these episodes is special with him here. And I was trying to be sweet.
This anniversary is April 1st. If you're going to have an anniversary, it should be April 1st.
April Fools.
I forgot. It's a joke.
Yeah, you wait until the end.
I forgot as a joke.
The Jimmy Revolution. What revolution is that? The one where he doesn't show up?
That's his revolution.
I heard from him.
You did? How is it?
I did. He said, he asked me how things are going. We chatted, texted a little bit back and forth. I didn't ask him if he was coming on the show because he knows where we are.
He does. Yeah, I post the link where he can access it every week. He has not been banned.
Jimmy.
Yet.
Oh, we should ban him.
We should ban him. We need to wait until we hear that. Okay, I'm planning on coming this week, guys. Banned.
We need some good old-fashioned Jimmy drama.
That's right.
Hey, with Doctor Who coming back in 2 days.
Who knows?
That's usually when Jimmy decides to poke his head out.
That's a good time for it.
It's true. It's when he decides to cast his shadow.
I can't wait to prove everything he says is wrong.
We have no news. Doctor Who's back in 3 days?
2 days. 2 days for me. 3 days for you.
You live in the future.
Yep, I'll tell you how it is. Even though by the time I watch it, it'll be the same day as you because I'm going to a party when Doctor Who comes back. And unlike the British, I have patience. I can just watch it the next day.
Now I know you're lying. I don't think you go to parties. You don't really strike me as a big party guy.
I'm not.
I've never seen you anywhere but in that chair.
It's true.
Yeah, even when I go to work, I go to work with the chair.
I assume that. This is just...
Yeah.
I mean, this is where I work.
Yeah. I think I'm the only one that has moved the most out of the three of us during the span of this channel.
Oh yeah, I've literally been in the same room every episode I've been on.
I've just changed rooms.
First, I went ahead and locked myself away in a closet with a blanket behind me as a background. Then I got a desk and was in my room, and now I'm in my room elsewhere.
I've been in the car a couple times. That was fun. I should do that again. Driving. Hey, everyone. So Doctor Who, who's this guy? What's this Doctor Who show about?
So it's about
Sell me on it.
It's about a man that travels in this blue police box. It goes through time and space. He's maybe thousands years old, maybe older. Who really knows at this point?
Maybe white, maybe black, maybe a woman, maybe a man.
And
everything.
Usually he has a human friend that he drags along through time and space. And in this case, against her will.
What?
And he's our hero.
He's a kidnapper.
So
pretending to be a police officer. Wow.
Pretending to have a doctorate, like Pixel.
I don't have that in here anymore.
Well, you used to, and I'm going to keep reminding you because that's a crime. Punishable by, who knows, let's say death.
So there's no news. There's no news about this fancy British show that everyone's
It's mainly just been essentially press tour. They're just talking about the series as they're leading up into it, as we're only a couple of days in. I have seen like some that got early access to the first episode, and it doesn't look that good.
Really?
From what I've seen, like they're saying it's just like, you've seen the opposite. I've seen some say like it's like typical like first episode starter. It's okay, could have been better.
I mean, that's good.
Davies is going to break the mold. I don't think he's going to change anything.
I need you to understand this, especially because what I did for my day, and I was telling Chris about this beforehand, I rewatched all of this last season of Doctor Who. And then I went ahead and watched the 3 specials. And I was in the middle of this last Christmas special. And I would have been caught up, but I had to come on here and stream. I mean, I could have just said later, but I had to show up. So I binge watched all of season 1, as they call it.
Is that why you look so much older now?
But you know what? Actually,
the passage of time is apparent.
I'm 22.
Now I'm 22.
It was a lot more enjoyable the second go around. To go ahead and just most of the season was really enjoyable.
He's coping, Landry. We need to help him. He's coping.
No, especially after 2 weeks ago when we reviewed Spyfall. I don't care. There's nothing that RTD can do that can be worse than that opening. So I'm excited.
That's you're comparing moldy bread with less moldy bread.
There's nothing moldy about Church of Ruby Road.
I mean, season 1.
Okay.
As a whole. Season 1 as a whole is bread that has some mold on it. It could be recoverable.
Cheese. It's cheese with mold, where you think you can cut it off, but really that mold has invisible roots through your whole cheese.
Yeah, that invisible roots is the story arc of season 1.
The mold is right at the end of season 1. It's Empire of Death.
Sorry.
Yeah, Empire of Death is nothing. It's just a bunch of mold. It's really bad.
It is.
Still could have been salvageable, but it was not. They didn't do it. And it is what it is. But I'm
pointing at a sign, and that sign says no.
The pointing at the sign is the worst thing about that episode.
It is. We bring it up all the time. It is legitimately the stupidest. It is the, pardon my Australian, stupidest fucking reveal of like anything. She was naming,
but you know
she
what?
Was she was naming you. She was naming you with no one else inside, aside from technically the Doctor. But even if the Doctor was there, she was naming you.
The thing is, that only happened. It didn't happen the first time the Doctor went back. In Church of Ruby Road, when he goes back, she continues to walk on. Doesn't even stop and look at him. Just continues to walk on. The thing is that after that moment, in Space Babies. He remembers it, and he gets pulled back into it. And all of a sudden, she's like standing there. She turns and she points, and then the snow falls, and Ruby steps in. Doctor, and they come back onto the spaceship. It was unnecessary. They did not have to add that. I don't know what sentiment he was going for. He literally had to cut that stupid point, and you lose most of the bullshit of that episode.
Especially when it's like, yeah, obviously he watched Last Jedi. He liked the idea that Rey was a nobody, and that he wanted to do that with Ruby, with her mum. Her mum is just a normal person. The problem is he then takes a slightly similar but not the exact same mistake that Rise of Skywalker does. So Rise of Skywalker, this is like, oh no, we have to make Rey important. She's a Palpatine. But with RTD, it's like, okay, I'm still going to keep it that she's a nobody, but I'm going to put in that everyone thinks she's important to the fact that there's all this snow that appears when Ruby thinks about her and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well,
and then even in the behind the scenes stuff, it's like, why can't we see her mother's face? It's like, oh, there's a shroud. There's a shroud of time covering her. And it's like, yeah, that's not explained in the episode. She's just wearing a hood. I don't know why that was so...
I mean, in Church of Ruby Road, they go ahead and they say that, why can't we see her? Because her face is covered and it feels otherworldly. Like, there's a shadow there.
But there isn't. It's just, in the end, it is just a woman in a hood.
Sutek missed it. He didn't look big with his big dog eyes enough to see her face. And that is what ends up being his downfall.
Well, maybe because it was dark and, yeah, sure, it somewhat lit area, but it's a woman with a hood that's fairly pulled down, so you're not really going to see that from a distance.
Sorry, there's knocking just below me. It's weird.
It's a trap.
Possibility of a trap rising to 99%. Thanks, Lenny.
Thanks, child worker that Kate was okay with having.
And the stupid, there will be birds. Hey, I still say it could have been salvageable. It's just a few tweaks, and it would have been half decent. Instead, it's got, yeah. But anyway,
we're not here. Are you talking about the episode or the season?
That episode. And I think...
But the thing is, Legend of Ruby Sunday would also have to be salvageable as well. And I still think that's also bad. It's not as bad as Empire of Death, but it's also a bad episode. It's a literal just like, we need to finish the plot, so here we go.
My problem is Ruby is boring. Everything about Ruby is boring. I either feel like I've seen it before with a different companion, or it's just grating. She is, she's Billie Piper from the episode where she screws with time to get her dad back, except she's that every episode.
No, I'm telling you, when you watch it, because I watched it all today, she's very likable. She really is. And
the problem is she's not as fleshed out as any other companion, and it doesn't help that this season, even though we know that she's coming back for the next season, this season ends it with her leaving the Doctor, and it's the big goodbye, and it's like, you don't have anything. You're not a character. And the only time you are given a character, it's reset at the end. So it's like, I don't know how Ruby's character is going to be salvaged in season 2, considering there's the whole thing of like, oh no, Ruby's arc is a 2-season arc. And it's like, okay, I don't know how you're going to do that when you're also having an arc with a new companion.
I don't know. But
which the mystery of it, funny enough, the whole mystery of Belinda and her resemblance to Mundy
might have been revealed.
Yeah, Russell just reveals it. Just in an article talking about it, he just reveals it. And I'm like, the trailer makes it seem like it's very important that she resembles this character that we saw in Boom, and you just revealed it.
I didn't click on the article because I saw that you responded to it, and I was like, but I want to watch it in the episode. So I did.
Yeah, I'll wait and see. But like, if that's actually it, and he just revealed it, that's like,
stupid.
Why would you do that? That feels like a big point about her character is that she resembles someone the Doctor has met, and the Doctor has caught onto that. Okay,
so let's go ahead and start talking about what we might think of season 2. We talked about the episode titles and everything, and they looked interesting, looked good. Do we have any expectations?
I'm keeping it neutral because I think I went too high with season 1, ended up being disappointed. Considering the fact that season 2 was being made at the same time that season 1 was airing, I've said it before, any criticisms of season 1 they're not going to have known about while making season 2. So any chance to be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do it like this, like we did last time, isn't going to be there. So I'm trying to keep it as neutral as possible once that episode comes out and we're like, okay, blank slate, I'm going to give it its fair go. Am I going to like this or am I going to hate this? We'll see after I finish the episode and then everything else in the series.
Okay.
Other than that, my expectations, I don't feel like it's going to hit the mark. Because we had and I think it's mainly because of the shorter episode count and the fact that because Ruby's not fleshed out, we're giving a new companion the next season. And Ruby just was kind of there. And from what it feels like from the trailers and what's been built up from season 1, we're going more into the whole pantheon of gods, which I'm fine with. But the problem is you ended the previous series defeating the god of gods, the god of death. There's no stakes there really is no stakes if the Doctor faces another one of the pantheon. Because it's like, okay, he's already defeated the one that they feared. The top dog. So it's like, with like this cartoon character, everyone thinks, okay, that's obviously going to be one of the gods.
I don't think so.
Because I'm hoping it's just a being that looks animated or takes a form via animation or whatever. I hope it's not connected to one of the gods. But considering like behind the scenes, like location footage of like the cinema, and it says the words Harbinger, and the whole thing they brought up with the gods is that there's always a Harbinger before they arrive. I think it's going to be one of the pantheon. And I'm like, I kind of like this idea, but how you did it in season 1, I wasn't a big fan of. So, and again, like I said, there's no stakes because he killed Sutek. So it's like, okay, it might be tough, but the Doctor's going to get around this eventually.
I mean, that's always the case. The Doctor,
and that's always the case. But with this whole pantheon, it's just like you should not have ended the season going with the biggest threat in the pantheon. It should have been built up
another season.
Yeah, leave it for Shooty's last season, whatever it could be. Facing off against the god of the pantheon.
Yeah, but do you really want to push Empire of Death a few seasons later? I don't think so. I think
it might have played better.
It probably would have played better if it was built up better, because it definitely was not built up better.
No,
again, I'm telling you, the main problems though go ahead and come from her mother pointing at a sign, and that's just a problem of that. That is a major problem. The other one is calling it an anagram when it's not an anagram.
That too.
Susan Triad being named Susan, that's on purpose. So I mean that's not a problem.
Which I still also think is stupid. The Doctor just instantly clicking that, oh, that must be my granddaughter. Her name is Susan.
Well, it's that with the anagram, an actual anagram, it being
S triad
TARDIS,
and then was it Morris saying, "Oh yeah, this is very highly likely a trap." And the Doctor's like, "Yeah, no, but what if it wasn't?" Turns out it was. So, no, sometimes the obvious is very obvious.
Listen, the child laborer he was listening to, he said, "Morris is telling you it's already, it's most likely a trap." Yeah, but what if it isn't? Everybody else is trying to convince the Doctor. Maybe it's not, Doctor, including Ruby and Kate and all that. It's the humans that are the problem. We're always the problem.
But yeah, for season 2, I don't have too many hopes.
Did you read any of the episode descriptions?
I think I only read the second one, which is the one with Alan coming.
I saw the one. I saw the one for the last episode, so I don't feel I should.
Oh, I think is that the whole like unholy trinity or whatever it is.
It says something about an unholy trinity, and you know what? You have the Harbinger in Legend of Ruby Sunday bringing up the
threefold deity. Yeah.
Deity.
So they're just gonna do like another. They're gonna do another god as the antagonist again
at the end. Go ahead and big.
Maybe they'll do the Guardians, black and white Guardian. Maybe Turlo will come back. I like Turlo. Turlo's okay.
Face it, Belinda, he's dead.
This Belinda thing keeps throwing me. My wife's name is Belinda, so this is really. I just. What's that?
I don't know.
It's gonna be a weird season for me.
Yeah.
Just on that note. But not for her. She'll love it. There's something I was going to mention. I'm with Chris on this. I don't really want another God season, but to be honest, my problem, and this is my problem with the last season, and I said this all when we were reviewing it, it was very 2006. Russell T Davies needed to come in and do what he did in 2006, which was reinvent Doctor Who for a new generation. Instead, he just went, "What if we did 2006 again?" And that's what we got. It was just, here's our, it's a villain of the season. I am tired of villains of the season. Just give me a season of good episodes. No through line. I don't need one. Just give me good episodes. I think that season 2, we didn't really have there really is no villain of the season in season 2, is there? That's the only one.
Not really. It's the through line of Torchwood, and that's our reveal of what Torchwood is. But then it also brings in the Cybermen as antagonists that were introduced in the middle of the series, and then brings the Daleks back as well.
Which is all really strong. The Torchwood thing feels like an aside. It doesn't feel super important, especially the payoff is like, yeah, hey, we're Torchwood. Look at our building. It's cool. And it's like, okay. It becomes not the important focus point, especially since everything culminates in this big first meeting of the Daleks and Cybermen. Brilliant. I just want good episodes. I don't like, you give me a series of unconnected episodes and they're at the quality. What's the one with the bird people from last season?
Rogue.
I loved Rogue. Give me the one Dot and Bubble. Great episode.
Bubble was good.
Give me 10 or 12 or however many you're doing in a season episodes like that, culminating in a really good episode that doesn't have to have anything to do, or make the through line something to do without the Doctor just, feeling tired or something. I don't know. It doesn't have to always be, and the gods themselves, No.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a through line. I think because Belinda ends up traveling with him accidentally, and then he's trying to get her home, and then I suppose that is a through line if he can't get her home. But
it all depends.
I don't think every adventure is connected.
That's a plot. The through line is more like, here's our villain of the season. It's like the Harry Potter syndrome. Like, the school year started. I wonder what our big threat will be that we'll face in June, just when the school year ends. Oh, now the evil takes the summer off, but starts back up slowly again in fall. Like,
But again, I don't think that I don't think whatever the end, if it is an unholy trinity, I don't think it's an unholy trinity at the beginning, and they're the reason why Belinda comes through to the
No,
end.
but if it is the gods and it is continuing subplots from the previous season, then it is just more of that. Listen, obviously I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
And I'll probably see some really good episodes and some episodes that aren't necessarily that good. But I need the balance. I need the ratio to be higher than it was last season. Last season disappointed me. I saw 2 episodes that are very good. And I think I saw a couple that were middling and then some really bad ones. Too many bad ones for my liking.
Hello, Gevain. Welcome to the party.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing good. We've just been talking about expectations for season 2. You got any?
Yeah, I'm with Landry. I'm having totally given up on Uti as the doctor. Not by any means, but I'm with him. There's got to be more good episodes than bad this time around. I've got to be convinced that I think he can carry the franchise, but I just need to see. And I know this isn't all his fault, but I've got to see something more to this. I can't speak to specific expectations other than it just needs some good stories. And I think that's what it is. It's last season, they're capable of it. It just wasn't as often as I would like, and in some cases with some of the episodes, it just didn't. The quality of it, or just didn't carry all the way through. I mean, I don't know if I could take another 3 or 4 space babies, if that makes sense. But
actually, I did see Space Babies a second time today. I watched all of that's what I was saying before you appeared. I watched all of season 1 again, and the 3 specials, and I was in the middle of the last Christmas special, Joy to the World. Space Babies was better the second time around. It didn't feel as sped up. That's how it felt for me the first time, but the second time feel as too fast, which was part of the problem. But yeah,
and even like with Joy to the World, which it was like it just I don't know. It's like I wanted to like it. I get it, but it was like equal parts corny, obvious, not quite. It felt like half formed, and I think that's what a lot of the last season, even including like the tennis specials, where I thought in a lot of ways they started off strong, and then By Generation comes along and it's just like, oh guys, you were just so close to the finish line, and he just fumbled it, and there were some choice episodes, some choice stories last season. And I just think it's got to be stronger all the way through. And it's one thing if you're like, because I think people are looking at least I'm looking at it as like, are they building? Are they building the quality of the series as they go along? And if it's just something where it's just kind of like the trends, like it's just going to continue to be hit and miss, with it mostly being miss, then it's kind of going to be like, I just don't want another Spyfall. That's how I feel about it. I don't want another Spyfall.
We can't get another Spyfall.
Yeah,
that's not possible.
Yeah,
I will watch Empire of Death over and over again before I watch Spyfall, ever.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because most like with Jodie, it was just like, okay, we got through her first run, and it's like, oh, all right, it wasn't the greatest, but you at least saw the potential. It's not like you totally give up hope. And I think a lot of times when new doctors are coming on, you're just waiting for the story that comes along, or the episode that comes along, when it's like, okay, it clicks. Okay, they've gotten their footing. They've vomited up all the bad stuff. They've gotten it out of their system, and now we're in for a good run. And that just never happened with Jodie. It just didn't. And now it's just like, dude, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you, but it's like you got to give me something. You got to give me something, and it's got to. And after we get through the first 4 to 5 episodes, I'm gonna know whether we're just in for another stinker of a season or not.
I mean, 4 to 5 episodes. Well, the way they're doing the seasons now is like 2/3 of the season. But I would say the thing is, Dave Tennant and Eccleston, both under the two Russell T Davies doctors. For me, I knew they were going to be good on their first episodes. They won me over. Like Tennant wins me over when he regenerates his hand and fights, and all of that was solid. Eccleston at the when he invites Rose into the TARDIS, these were winning points for me. Where I was, but then I will grant Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi took longer for me. Not much.
The thing was with Matt Smith didn't take as long for me. Capaldi did. Capaldi did. Capaldi did. It was later. It was later in that serial for me because I really did not like his first episode. But with Matt Smith, I got won over by the end of the episode when he does the check. He tells them how many times. Look at what happened to each time somebody came for the planet. It was like I was not sold on him for the entirety of the episode, but in that moment, I was like, okay, damn, this is the Doctor. Let's see what this kid can do. Capaldi, it took a little bit longer, but like you said, but within the first couple of episodes, it got there. It's like at this point, with Nookti, what it is that it's not much like with Jodie. It's not him. Just like it wasn't her particularly, it's everybody else involved with this. So it's not even like I couldn't see Jodie as the Doctor. It's just that the showrunners suck and the writers suck.
So, I had an unconventional way of starting Doctor Who. Middle of season 3 is when I started. So I had Tennant already. And then I got to see Matt, and Matt won me over instantly. Capaldi won me over instantly. I went back and redid David's, and I love the Christmas Invasion. He only has like 5 minutes that he's actually doing anything, and he steals the show in that 5 minutes. Christopher Eccleston didn't win me over in Rose. I don't like Rose. I think I'm the only one in this panel that does not like the episode of Rose. But he took longer for me to warm up to.
It's okay to be wrong.
But I do have to say, I think Jodie's first episode is one of the best openers that we've had for Doctor Who, too.
Exactly.
It's just that everything following that is where it sucks. I love Church of Ruby Road.
Tooth Demon and tells a guy who was tormented by the Tooth Demon when he justifiably shoves a guy off the building after being tormented by him. She says, "You had no right to do that." Yes, I planted a bomb in him, but you had no right to do that. Bad human.
Look,
only
we're not
I
saying
can
she
kill
wasn't a
aliens.
total hypocrite.
Well, she was saying that she was already taking care of it, giving him a chance, and the guy interfered. But even then, that episode is really good. Like, all throughout it, when we went ahead and redid a review for this, I think I'm the only person that's seen it 3 times, maybe 4. It's a really good episode. It's the rest of the season. I think Church of Ruby Road is a fantastic episode. I love the goblins. I love the idea that they're using rope to go ahead and bind it, and there's something. It's supposed to be mythical, and I get that. I get the vibe that they're going for, and I love that part. It's the problems that follow after with the mystery of Ruby's mother, and that's where the problems arise. It's not with that episode, though.
No, but that's the thing. It's like with this whole thing with Flood. Like, given with the way they paid off Ruby, the way they paid off Ruby's story, does anyone have any confidence they're gonna actually pay off Flood? Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, like the whole. This is supposed to be also the season that reveals who or what Mrs. Flood is, and given how they did the Susan Triad stuff, how they did Ruby's arc, Ruby's mom, I have. Unless it's this such a big twist where I'm like, okay, Russell, I'm sorry for doubting you. You cooked with this one. Like,
I don't know.
unless that happens, I don't think it's going to to be satisfactory.
Yeah,
My problem is I don't care. Yeah, like they didn't make me care.
That's even better. Yeah, that's another one. Yep.
Hey, she's one of the best parts in Legend of Ruby Sunday when as soon as the mom leaves and she's with the grandmother and she says, "I would like a cup of tea." Oh, well, we would all like things that are not going to happen.
And the best part of a shit ice cream cone might be the sugar cone that the shit is in, but I still don't want to eat it. Like, it's not good.
The problem isn't the legend; it's the Empire. I'm telling you.
And the thing is, like, the problem is with Mrs. Flood for this upcoming season is like we're just doing Susan Triad again.
Yeah.
The only difference being we know there's something to Mrs. Flood. She can talk to the audience. There's something about her. We don't know what it is. But we're doing the whole this mysterious woman and she's going to be appearing a lot more.
But the thing is with Susan, she also didn't know. She didn't know who she was about. Anytime that we saw her, there wasn't anything other than the fact that she did keep appearing. There was nothing about her that was saying that, oh, she knows something's going on. Mrs. Flood does. Mrs. Flood has plans.
Yeah, but it's still just doing the whole, like, this woman is just appearing in almost every episode.
It's doing another mysterious woman. It's a different mystery.
I just didn't care. I want to care. I cared about things in previous seasons. I saw things like, oh, that is intriguing. Tell me more about this bad wolf that I keep seeing. I don't care. And they really, the season hinges on it. It hinges on me caring, and they didn't make me care.
And it's not natural like previous series.
Yeah.
It doesn't help when in the marketing that Russell is saying, this is the mystery. You have to keep looking for this because this is the important thing. And it's like, that's not how you really get viewers to engage.
It's not how he used to do it.
And that's not really how he used to do it. No. He didn't say, hey, guys, bad wolf.
No,
when look out for those words.
When they said, hey, this has always been here, that was a revelation. Like, oh my God, he's right. Bad wolf.
But I also
but with this one, it's like, hey, Susan Twist. Hey, Mrs. Flood. They're very important. Keep an eye out on them. Those two, you have to keep an eye out because look, I'm going to tell you what it is at the end.
We could go ahead and say, other than what you said about maybe Belinda's connection with already seeing the actress play Mundy. Other than that, I haven't heard anything about this season really from RTD. RTD has gone silent in comparison to last season, and I think what it was last season was an overcorrection. Like he was thinking that, okay, I'm going to go ahead for this new generation and spoon feed, which isn't the way to do it. That he didn't give enough credit to viewers.
Yeah, that's something. Okay, I will give him that. At least from that, the one thing about Belinda is that Russell has not had the problem of not shutting up. He has not said a lot, and yeah, that was a problem with the last season. It's just like engagement bait.
Yeah, but
we're doing this entirely to engage the viewers, and at the end it just might not be good.
Yeah, and I agree with the overcorrecting thing, because there was a lot to correct for. Let's not forget, it was like people had basically was like, all right, we're done with this. And I mean, that's the whole reason of bringing Tennant back in the first place. It was like you literally had to win all of us back. And that was the season for that. And again, it was just, it was of milling quality. Look, I'm still mad about the first question. I'm sorry. Some people try to convince me that they paid that off correctly. No, they didn't. Nope, they didn't. Instead of getting some epic, even if you had taken me right up to the tip, and I mean deliberate that, the tip of basically saying this is who the Doctor really is, but we're not going to tell you. That would have been better than getting the timeless child. Okay, eventually. I'm sorry. You don't sit up here and I'm watching all of these, whatever it was, anniversary specials and all these great trailers and piecing together stuff from all the years, basically pointing to this deep, deep mystery of who the Doctor is, and I get just Transalore hanging out and no. And I think for me, that's what it was just like. The franchise, the series, whoever the caretakers, the stewards of this franchise are, they got close. I don't know if they got spooked, they got scared, they just didn't have any good idea. They whiffed then they came along with Timeless Child, and they whiffed even harder, and they've been whiffing since. And the simple fact of the matter is, these guys, I'm not going to, can I say this is a make it or break it season for who right now? I think it's just make it or break it. It's like, guys, show me that I'm with Landry on this. I need a 50% hit. I need a 50% hit rate here. I need 50% of these episodes to be like, hey, you know what? That was enjoyable. Or at least when we come on here, to review these things, at least if Joe is with us, then 3, but at least half of us have to be able to at least defend these things. Because if not, then it's like, it's over. They need to take another hiatus, and when somebody actually has a new vision for this series, come back then. But I think they've run out of the goodwill. I think this is it.
They used up all the goodwill, and a 50% hit rate is a low ask. That is a low ask for a show. That is us being very generous, and I would be fine with that. 50%, I would be perfectly happy with. And I really did enjoy the 2 episodes that I thought were good last season. I really liked those episodes. I would watch those again. Those go in my list of watching episodes of Doctor Who. But and I've watched Dot and Bubble a few times, which I don't do with a lot of Doctor Who. Is that good? So it's great that when they hit it hard, but it's just, you got, how many episodes they do last season? Only 8 or 9?
They did 8 seasons last season, and the technical start is or 8 episodes.
That's how long it felt.
Where's the that we missed?
They did 8 episodes.
Maybe the Sutek reveal was actually good if I watched the other 7.
I mean, and here's part of the problem. Like, the Doctor was taken out of one of those. And I know they usually do a Doctor-free episode to focus on the companion, but that's back when they did 14 episodes a season or whatever. When you have 8, the ratio of episodes with the Doctor in it and it was more than just once. Didn't they take him out of 2 episodes?
No, so what you're thinking of is Dot and Bubble is technically a Doctor Light episode because he's only in it a few times.
Yeah, but they made that work. That was one where
so
they made it work.
So the only other one is 73 Yards.
Oh God!
No.
So last season, the technical start is the Church of Ruby Road, but it's not from the season start. It's Space Babies, Devil's Cord,
Boom.
Space Babies, Devil's Cord, Boom. Yes, Boom.
73 Yards,
73
Dot and
Yards.
Bubble, Rogue, Legend of Ruby Sunday,
and Empire of Death.
So 2-parter at the end out of 8. That's,
And you need at least 4 Dot and Bubbles. I'm sorry, you need at least, and you need at least that. And you need less of the 73 yards. Where it's just like, it was just pointless. I mean, it was literally, we had seen this before. And this time it's like, how do you take? Again, it's that payoff thing. It's like, now we all knew, excuse my French here, we all knew damn well that somehow that was going to be some Ruby looking at herself or whatever the hell it was. And then when it turned out that's exactly what it was. This is what you know what the problem with that last season was? That last season was, it's like this, hi guys, my name is Trope, and you're going to see me at least 6 out of 8 times this season. And the thing is, and I'm not as good the second time around. It's like, because this is my buddy coming up behind me called Diminishing Returns. And I don't want to see that this season. I don't want to see Trope. It's like, it was good to see you, buddy. Get off the couch, go get a job, go do something. And I definitely want to see your friend Diminishing Returns, because if he shows up again, then I'm going to be on the 10 o'clock news for attempted murder. Okay?
Well said.
I'm telling you, I don't know. Binge watching it, it's just that end that's the problem for me. Every other episode is good. I actually enjoyed other episodes more than Rogue this time around.
I like Rogue quite a bit.
I guess
I like Thought Bubble more, but I liked Rogue quite a bit.
But it also might be just a difference of we were watching week by week and then binge watching. That's two different ways to watch.
Is the design of the show, though. We're supposed to invest ourselves in it week by week. That's how it's framed.
But I mean, if we're talking about what I said before, like him overcorrecting and designing like shows for streaming, Netflix releases all at once because they know people are going to binge watch, and that
the problem there's also a thing, and it's a common thing with a lot of Netflix shows that kills hype.
I mean, yeah,
that kills discussion because then everyone can just discuss it at once because they've watched the whole thing.
I hate it.
Where the benefit of a weekly show is that you're talking about it every week.
Water cooler time. You want the water cooler time. You want the Twin Peaks effect. You want Game of Thrones effect. You want Walking Dead effect. You want Battlestar Galactic effect, where we all come together. Oh my God! Can you believe that it snowed when she thought about Christmas? Oh my God!
Because I tell you, I recommend if you have a day that you aren't doing much and you think, okay, well, I have some hours to kill, try binge watching the season. It's a lot better the second go around.
I
don't know. It really is
going to do this. I respect your Pixel. I do, and I'm glad you found this piece within you.
I do.
But one, I don't have a day to do that. I always have to pull from memory whatever we're reviewing to begin with, because I don't even usually have time to watch the single episodes. But two, no, I like myself too much for that. I have too much self-respect for that, Pixel.
Okay.
What do you say about Pixel?
But you know what? I've had to like I said, I've had to rewatch Spyfall, and that is the worst thing that I've ever done to this channel.
Have to.
I had to because the rewatching is what validates the memory. It goes ahead, and I remember this episode. I remember this is a good moment and this is a bad moment. That's why, because I've seen pretty much all of Classic Who that I could have seen, other than the recent animated reconstructions. And if I did that off of memory, I would barely be able to recall half of it, like, because I have a crappy memory, so I have to rewatch it.
So who knows? Maybe Underworld is an actual masterpiece. We just need to rewatch it.
So I have a question. So when we were doing some ratings, and Landry brought up a good point that we had to be mindful of of the ones and the twos that we were handing out, because there were clearly some stinkers to come in the future. So based on the last season, what was rock bottom from the last season? And they, at least this season, they have to make sure to at least be 2 points above.
They just do not have to do that ending. As long as they avoid Legend of Ruby Sunday and Empire of Death, they'll be fine.
But the problem is that these were essentially written around the same time. And then season 2 was filming while season 1 was airing. So I think the problem is, I don't know if it could get worse. I think at worst we could just get the same.
I think really what we're getting is part 2 of season 1, because the seasons used to be about 15, 16 episodes. This is what we're going to get. 13, I think this is really just part 2 of season 1.
We consider, like I said, what they've said about Ruby's story arc, that it's a 2-season arc. This is just the second half.
Maybe what they need to start doing, though, and I was actually going through the Doctor Who Discord earlier and seeing some conversations. Maybe what they need to start doing is splitting seasons again. Do 6 episodes and 6 episodes.
That killed the momentum.
I hated it, but if it makes it a better execution of an arc, then
it doesn't. They don't need to do that.
No, it doesn't.
It hurt the show. It hurt the show so badly.
It hurt. I would say it hurt the show with. I wouldn't really say with Series 6 because then it ends with the whole reveal of who River Song is, so that kept you going with like, how's this going to be resolved? How's this going to be resolved? Oh, so the Doctor died at the start of the series. How's this going to be resolved? Whereas I think with Series 7, it really hurt it because it had this. You had to do the whole like we have to get rid of Amy and Rory.
Get rid of Amy and then bring in
even though that last episode with them, it's great, but it felt like we're just buying time until they go. We're just really buying time. We're going to do this whole thing where they're sharing they have to share their lives with the Doctor and their normal lives. And it's like, I don't really care. But then the second half of the series is a completely different thing with Clara.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think with how they're going ahead and trying to execute seasons now is what they are trying to go ahead and appeal to how streaming is done now. And that is the problem. That's why we only get 9 episodes, but we only get 8-episode seasons. They're trying to go ahead and compact it, and then, like
that's
I said,
the thing. There's shows with short episode counts that work. They just need to see. I actually haven't seen that, but I think you and Aiden from 50% have said that it's good.
I enjoyed
apparently. It. So I might check that out. I'm seeing the trailers. I'm like, I don't know if this will interest me, but
you just know what you're getting in for is what it is. It is kid Star Wars show. Like you have to go in not looking for it to have like Andor or whatever kind of quality. It is Goonies in space. It's fun. Episode 1 is a little slow. Episode 2 pulls you up. There's good moments and bad moments, but overall, worth watching.
But that's a show it's even though it's set in the Star Wars universe, that's its own show being made for that. So they are designing with that in mind. It doesn't feel that way with Doctor Who. It feels like that they said, well, this does seem to be the model right now.
This is the thing. We can as a culture, as creators, these things can be reinvented. Doctor Who could be completely reinvented. Russell T Davies did it brilliantly with Rose. It's the POV character is Rose. We hadn't really seen it like that maybe since Barbara and Ian in the first episode, where we don't know anything about this mysterious guy. We learn it as she learns it. She is the audience. And that was a brilliant reinvention of the concept. Like, let us go on this journey with Rose, in this strange world and strange place kind of thing. She's Alice in Wonderland. She's Dorothy Gale, and it works. It was a reinvention. Reinvent it again. Reinvent it. There's so many different types of stories out there. Doctor Who doesn't always have to be the same kind of structure or formula.
And I think on some level it's a cop out to blame the pressures of what you're trying to appeal to, because you either have a good spine for the story throughout the series or you don't. It's as simple as that. You either know what you're doing with the characters or you don't. You know what the role is. So at a certain point, if those things are strong or those fundamentals are strong, then you can say I think you can more fairly make their argument, because it's streaming, they didn't do this or that. But this is a question. This is a thing of like, if this second series is part 2 of the first one, and the simple fact of the matter is they don't know where they're going, or if they do know where they're going, it just sucks. That's what it is. It's just the payoff sucks. Then it's like, doesn't matter whether it's streaming or it was broad network thing or it's 8 episodes or 6. Your payoff sucks. Your resolution is just garbage. And the thing is like, how are these stories pushing you towards the end? So if you're telling me that, hey, that's clear. It was clear from the beginning. Mrs. Flood is going to be the big payoff. Is she a reincarnated Susan? Is she the Ronnie finally coming? I don't know. All I'm saying is, it just, whatever it is, at this point, they're just not combating whether or not they got good story structure or they understand how to write characters and blah, blah, blah. Fundamentally, what we're doing with this Doctor here is, it's like, why should I be bothered with this character anymore in this franchise as it is? That's what we're talking about. You completely lost the audience and the narrative with Jodie. That's what happens. Now, is this the seventh, is this our version of the seventh Doctor and it's hiatus time? Or are they just going to pull off a miracle and just, hey guys, we heard what you were saying, and we, and I know we kind of had a slow build up with the first part, but here's where we really get rolling. But I truly doubt their ability as storytellers at this point. That's what my issue is. I doubt their ability to tell a story.
I feel like we really needed a 21, 22 version of Doctor in Distress performed.
I will say, talking about going back to the discussion of the next season of Mrs. Flood, the only things that we have is, like I said, sadly, the little part of her in what is it, the Legend of Ruby Sunday, and then her monologue at the end, and pointing out, hey, you never seen a TARDIS before. But she tells the old woman that she's going to, do you believe in prayer? I do. Then tell your maker that I am coming to his golden gates to steal his throne.
Susan.
I don't even remember this Mrs. Flood. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. So Mrs. Flood right in Ruby Thursday, Sunday, the first episode where the season starts. Okay,
Road,
yeah, Ruby. Okay, great. What the hell did she do throughout the rest of that series? This past series, absolutely nothing. She shows up. It's like she shows up at the end again, and it's like, oh, bro, you still here? They just had you sit out the stoop the whole time, and what did she do to push any of it forward?
She's there. She's just got stuff later.
She was busy. She had things to do. She can't just stand there and perform for you. She's not your dancing clown. She's got a life.
I mean, man, I don't. It's like a part of me is just like, this isn't hard. And it's kind of like I feel in other areas of entertainment that I get the comment on, particularly when it comes to comics. And it's like, you look at what some of these guys are doing, and you're just like, okay, you guys either really don't know what you're doing, or you're doing this on purpose. And I just don't understand what is driving you to do this on purpose. So it's like a lot of times. Go ahead. Yeah, but there's a lot of times we talk about comics. I tell people, I said, look, sometimes the way that they're doing, particularly like when it comes, and I'm just going to diverge from it. When we talk about like the MCU and the direction of MCU, and like I tell people sometimes, I say, look, I don't sit in on the behind the scenes meetings and in the back room what they're talking about. But I said, it feels like, I tell people, I say, sometimes unless somebody wants to prove me wrong, it just feels like somebody's telling them, look, we need a character that's going to get us into the larger Asian market. Okay. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're pushing this character. That's why the franchise. We need a more global market. So we need characters that you're like, why are you choosing these guys? But it's like, this is coming from up top. We need a character to break into this market or into the South Asia market, whatever it is. And it's like, and to a certain extent, you can see that. That's what's driving it. I don't think that necessarily think that bad storytelling has to go along with that. But at least that's what the drive here. I don't understand what they're trying to accomplish with Doctor Who here. I understood the first 3 episodes with David and Catherine, because it's like, okay, guys, come on back. Here's something familiar. Here's something that you remember. Come on in. We're gonna treat you nice, and we're gonna give We're gonna give you that comfort food and that good old shot of nostalgia, and just to say mea culpa, and then we're gonna hopefully all kumbaya and move on with this new Doctor, and then Bi-Generation happened, and it's like,
they should have gone a different direction, built this a little slower. Do 3 episodes of Tennant, 3 episodes of Smith, 3 episodes of Capaldi, and then we get our new Doctor.
I would have taken that. But they had to win us back. And the thing was, they didn't fully accomplish the job of winning us back. It was like, here's 3 episodes of what you like, and then here's another 8 episodes of what you hate.
It would have
in other
been
words,
strong.
we haven't changed. You know what it is? It's like, well, I went into rehab and I came back out. I'm all good, and you immediately start. No,
I disagree with that completely because the majority of those 8 episodes are not even. They are not half as bad as some of the worst stuff that we got just the year before.
But again, it is the shit cone analogy again. Yes, they're not as bad.
For 2 episodes, even 73 yards that you disliked, that is a lot of people's favorite episodes. A lot of people find something to love in that.
A lot of people are broken in 2024. It was a hard year.
And you know what? I love 73 yards.
I know, and you've had a hard year. So listen, I got some. Okay. That would have been much stronger, because here we are, and this may be a mistake we're making, is we are judging this season by 8 episodes. Let's judge it as 11 episodes. Let's judge it with the specials. And if you judge it with the specials, my rankings go way up. But the problem is, maybe we didn't need Tennant in those at all. Imagine if he just regenerated from Jodie right into our new doctor. And he gets those 3 strong stories. You can still bring Donna in. She could still be, oh my God, you're the doctor. What? That could be great. We didn't need it to be Tennant. We just needed them to be well written, and those were good. But then you make the mistake of getting everyone like, oh right, I remember this guy. Oh, he's gone again. Okay, all right, I don't care anymore.
See, this is my thing with the bi-generation thing, is that I don't care what anybody says. It's the tone. It's the signal. It's the signaling that they were hedging their bets. See, that's what I didn't like about the bi-generation thing. It was like, to your point, it's either go in with the T, bring Donna in and do it, but you bring back Tennant, which already was a meta acknowledgement that, hey guys, look, we know how to do this. Let's give you a little taste of what was before. But then for you to hedge your bets the way that you did with that bi-generation, it was just weak, it was soft, and it was dead wrong.
And I don't think it was fair to our new doctor. I don't think it was fair to him.
It wasn't. It was absolutely. You in business, this is called when you hire the new person and you keep the old person in charge around for another year. You confuse the hell out of everybody. Nobody knows who's in charge. Nobody knows what's going on here, and you just and whatever lack of confidence you had in the organization before that, you're keeping it going.
I disagree, because the thing is that's one thing when talking about RTD and talking about everything like he was during that season, he made it perfectly clear that Shooty is going to be the new doctor. They aren't keeping David as a back burner. What he blinked. What he did was write fan fiction so that way the David Tennant doctor can have a happy ending. And that's what it is.
He didn't need him to have a happy ending. He had a happy ending as other doctors. He's the same guy. He moved on, he grew, and it was regressive, for us as an audience, and it took away from a big moment for a new doctor. By going, hey, but you remember this guy, you liked him best. By the way, here's your new doctor. Like, Chris, you have had so little. I want to hear from you, Chris.
No, yeah, it's from someone whose favorite doctor is 10. It's David. Shooty's first appearance should have been special, as it should be for every doctor. And the fact that it's just like, oh, now we have 14, we're not going to really explain by generation. We're giving a contrived reason why this face has returned by barely explaining it. We're going to give him this happy ending where he needs to relax, but we're also giving him a TARDIS, which defeats the point of him having to step back. 10 didn't. If 10 needed a happy ending, where's 7's happy ending, where he defeats all evil? Huh?
Yeah.
Where's I don't know. Where's 6's happy ending, where he never has to go back to go on trial?
12.
The time also just decide, okay, you're free. You get to. We're not going to force you to exile on Earth. You can be free. Just go be free.
12.
That's the whole
everybody.
That's the whole point of like regenerations. Is like sometimes it's just bittersweet that they are gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
because they've hurt enough, and it's time for them to move on, and that's how they heal. They don't heal by lingering; they heal by changing and growing, not dwelling in the past. It's regressive, and I enjoyed those. I loved those episodes. I did, and I loved seeing David Tennant again. I did, but is it wise? Is it good for the overall storytelling?
It just shows that okay, it just shows okay, we can just bring a fan favorite back.
Yeah, it removes stakes too. The whole point is they can never come back.
Yeah, we said that at the time. It cheapens it. It just cheapens it. And I think on some level, and I hear what you're saying, Pixel. Because the thing is, it wasn't like, oh my God, it was just like this was not terrible and it was not enjoyable. But I think at a certain point, it's like I would pose the question: was it worth it? And I don't think ultimately it was worth it.
I mean, I have had better times watching Doctor Who since Jodie. If we had ended with the power of the Doctor, this channel wouldn't exist. We would have stopped years ago.
But that's the thing. It's fair to take the worst of modern Doctor Who and judge, well, this is better than that. That's it. Yes, of course everything should be better than that. It was really bad.
At that point the conversation becomes, should we have just let Jodie go ahead and be the death sentence? I don't think that's fair to a potential future female Doctor that could have a good showrunner. Right.
Which is why we judge these on their own merits. We have to judge the new Doctor on his episodes, not on how they compare to Jodie's, and on their own merits. They're definitely, okay, if we were going to compare them to Jodie's, yes, they're definitely better, but Jodie's were Jodie's. This is his, and his could be better.
But well, I mean, I can only say my opinion. My opinion is it's only the end that's crap, but the rest is good. The rest is solid. That's the thing. And I like things that go ahead and stand out, but if most of the season is solid for me, I'm going to be happy. That's me thing, you know. It's.
I think that's a fundamental disagreement. There was most of the end, most of the season good, and for me, I only liked 2 episodes, and I liked that, but I did like those 2 at a high level. I will say, like they were 9s and 10s for me, if you remember my rankings. Whereas otherwise, I had 1s and 2s for a lot of the rest of the season. That's how disparate my rankings were.
You were one of the only people that I think you liked Space Babies alongside Chris.
Me?
I think so.
No, I hated Space Babies.
Jimmy hated it. I hated it.
Everyone hated it except me. I thought it was okay, but it was a terrible choice to be the first episode.
So you were the Pixel last time.
Yes.
At some point,
they chastised me. And they thought I was crazy.
But I will go ahead and say, you Devil's Cord, when you went ahead and ranked that one, you loved Devil's Cord.
I forgot about Devil's Cord.
And
I did like Devil's Cord. I didn't like it as high of a level as the other 2. So I will give, I think I had that one maybe at a 7 or something, 7.5. I really did like Devil's Cord, and I did forget about that in this conversation. So
yeah, but that's the thing. But I like Devil's Cord. I like Dot and Bubble. And I think what the problem is, it's it feels like it doesn't feel like they were intentionally good. It just felt like, oh, okay, they got one. And the thing is, it's it almost comes down to even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Well, they had regressive things. You've got, hey, look, we're going to go see what it would have been like if Ruby had never been adopted or whatever a second time. They go back and see how cynical and horrible her adopted parents would have been.
No, they only did that one time.
I thought they did it twice.
No, only that in the Church of Ruby Road.
I thought we got it in the.
No, in 73 Yards, what it is when she goes to go ahead and talk to the woman, it sends. She has to shun her because anybody that interacts that woman runs from Ruby and Tear.
So are we? So we're saying at this point that because I think with Modern Who, the success of a season or a series, I think it could be argued as whether the story arc was good or not. So we're saying now that we're moving away from whether the story arc was good or not to like, hey, there's just a bunch of great stories.
That's what
and
I
it doesn't
want.
matter.
I don't want story arcs anymore.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. In other words, we don't want the story arc anymore because clearly they can't do them. But if you give me 6 out of great 8 episodes, even if the story arc, even if Mrs. Flood is a terrible payoff, as long as there were 6 good episodes, hey, we're back in the saddle, buddy.
I mean, that'd be fine for me. I would be happy. I just want to enjoy the episodes I watch.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I think the expectation has. I think the expectation has to change because I think if you look at most of Modern Who, and I wouldn't say necessarily Eccleston's series, I wouldn't say that because I don't think that had been established yet. I think by the time we get to 11 with Matt with the whole River Song thing, maybe a false expectation was set that we have to judge the series as being great by how well the overall story arc pays off, as opposed to whether they were just good episodes or not.
And I disliked that at the time when they started doing it. We saw it really start to shift with season 3 with Mr. Saxon and all that. But by the time, you're right, by the time we get into the Matt Smith era, it is the villain of the season. It's Voldemort and Harry Potter in grade 6 or whatever. Every time, and I don't want that with it. Like, I just want good episodes.
More, and for me, that's more of a Buffy Angel dynamic. That's definitely what was going on. Who's the big bad for the season? And everything is built around that successful story arc. It almost didn't matter in some of the episodes or the stories in between whether they were good or not. Everything was building to that story arc and who the big bad was. So maybe it's just requires just a change of expectation. And if you did that, I don't know if that saves Jodie at all, if that redeems Jodie's run.
Not at all.
Exactly.
Because the thing is, when we talked about historicals last week, what is it? The Haunting of Villa Diodati. I love that episode. That is going to be an episode that I can go ahead and confidently say I could throw that on right now. I would enjoy it. It's one of the few episodes that she has that's like that. She has her first episode and that one. That's it. Even Kerblam, which I said, actually, it's better the second time around. It's still not good. It's fine. It's fine. There's a difference. But no, most of her season just sadly sucks. Sorry.
No, you're right. No, that's
Spyfall again, and it triggers that little part of me that wants to just.
I think Pixel actually loves Spyfall. He keeps bringing it up.
He's
obsessed.
It's like an enemies to lovers thing.
Summarize in a word. Let's see if we can each summarize in a word. What do we want? Or maybe a few words in the next season. And we could cap it that way. We could just go, what do we want? And I could start. I'll go.
Go ahead.
Okay. Good episodes, Daleks.
Yes. Nobody else wants Daleks except you and me. It's sad. Where are they? Okay.
It's been too long.
Chris.
Just I'd say good episodes. I agree. And good payoff. Like, if you're going to do the series arc, it has to be a good payoff.
Fair.
I don't want Legend of Ruby Sunday, Empire of Death to be the new status quo on how to do the payoff, because that was god awful. From RTD, who does, he might throw in at the end the Deus Ex Machina to save the day, but those are still really good finales. Parting of the Ways, Battle Parting of the Ways, Army of Ghosts Doomsday, Sound of Drums Last of the Time Lords, Stolen Earth Journey's End. They are still really good finales. And I like the payoffs in every one of those finales. I don't like the payoffs for Legend of Ruby Sunday and Empire of Death. It is, for lack of a better word, stupid. The payoff is incredibly stupid in those episodes.
I agree, but that was a lot more than 2 or 3 words.
That's true. I know. Sorry. I felt like I need to explain the payoff thing because
I actually think it's implicit. And I think it's exactly. I purposely did not choose that one because I just need good episodes, but I do understand very much where you're coming from. That's important to you. I could do without a good payoff if the substance of the rest of it is good, but I can see why it's important.
Gevain?
I can do it in 4 words: curiosity, cleverness, compassion, tragedy.
You could have had a 4th C word, though. I mean,
I was trying to do a 4th C over tragedy. I just couldn't do it.
Hey, we
I
changed.
Alliteration, but I just couldn't do it.
Hey, we changed gravity to mavity. We can change tragedy to tragedy.
Key word for tragedy. I'm gonna look that up while you talk.
There we go, tragedy.
Yeah, but otherwise, what I like in a good Doctor episode is, and that's what I liked about Dot and Bubble was, it's in particular the last 2. It is the compassion of the Doctor, and unfortunately, when people just reject that, or in some cases, as much as he tries, it's just not enough. And that to me is what makes good episodes, good story, good stories, Doctor story. Go ahead.
Can you give me those first 3 again? It was what?
Curiosity, cleverness, and compassion.
Okay, then you've got choices: calamity, catastrophe, or that says cataclysm is the same. Calamity or catastrophe instead of tragedy. You've got all C words.
I can go with catastrophe. I can go with catastrophe.
Okay, I
can go with that for now. Yeah.
I have one more Moffat episode. No, I'm kidding.
After Joy to the World, get him out of here.
Oh, stop. The only
Boom was good, but get him out of here.
It's 2 episodes melded into one, and that's the problem. I would go ahead and say, just good Doctor episodes, because I did really like Joy to the World. My only problem is, like I said, I need the Doctor to go ahead and take that forefront. And you know what? This next season, we don't have any episodes that's going to cut his time to 5 minutes. Even if those 5 minutes are good, we're going to have him throughout, and that's what I need.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. That is our show. We want to hear your thoughts. Put them down below. Next week, we will be reviewing the start of season 2 for Doctor Who. Don't miss it. No, it'll be days.
I hear it's a robot revolution.
Not according.
I think Cybermen, maybe. I don't know.
You're not.
Maybe the robot from the robot, or the robots from the Robots of Death.
I think it's a
Robot 1, K1. Bring K1 back.
He did it again. Russell did it again.
End of last season, you were out of town, weren't you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to be the same again.
But no.
Really?
Ooh.
Are you
Yes.
kidding me?
Yeah, and same place. I'll be in Japan
You're
again.
Insane. What the hell, man? Why would you play
Here's a C word.
Hey, I'm gonna be.
Second time's on purpose.
I'm gonna be honest. The only thing I care about is that Andor season 2 finishes before I leave.
Well, guess what? On our Star Wars channel. Oh wait, we don't have one.
We should have one.
You can't have one, sir. You aren't allowed to have Star Wars opinions on air.
That's true.
That's true.
I had one today. I can't even tell you what it is, but I got new Star Wars jobs.
We're excited to hear about it.
Yeah.
And we're also, believe it or not, I'm excited for new Doctor Who. So we'll see you guys next week on Mad Men with the Box. But until then, good night, goodbye, farewell.
Mrs. Flood is the Rani, Mrs. Flood is Susan, Mrs. Flood is the Master, Mrs. Flood is the Monk, Mrs. Flood is the Doctor's cleaner.
Verity Lambert.